And this card's actually looking pretty decent now, at least the main card. I think there's only been like 8 fights announced. So we've got the entire main card pretty much finished here. We have Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad for the welterweight championship. Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes for the interim heavyweight title. We got Bobby Green versus Paddy Pimblett. All those just announced today. And obviously we have Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze, and then Muhammad Makayev and Manel Kape to fill out the rest of this main card. So this main card's actually pretty decent, especially for the last couple London cards, because I feel like those cards have been kind of rough recently, or at least within the last couple of years, but they really went all out for this card. I mean, even I think the Usman Edwards 3 fight, that one had Gaethje and Fiziev under it, and I think that was pretty much it. So this is a really nice UK card that we haven't had in a while. Apparently this card's going to be going down, or at least like the main card's going to be going down at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning local time. I guess it says July 27, 7 p.m. MST. So yeah, it's going to be very, very late for the fans in the building. And I was kind of worried because we were looking at a card, because normally they have the heavier fighters go on last. I guess because of it's an interim title bout, they're going to be going first, and then they're going to have the actual championship. I was kind of worried because we got Bilal Muhammad and Leon Edwards on the card. And I know Leon Edwards is very skilled. He is very skilled, 100%, but his fights are pretty boring. It feels like he kind of just does enough. I mean, even in his last fight, he's kind of lucky to have Colby Covington there, because Leon Edwards' performance really wasn't that good. It was all defensive. It was all really Colby Covington goes first, moves towards him, and he gets to counter is basically what it is. But he solely relies kind of on his opponent pushing the pace. I know the pace against Bilal Muhammad in their first fight was actually pretty high, so maybe we'll see that Leon Edwards goes out there and tries to finish Bilal Muhammad pretty early. Like he was actually putting on a really good pace, was hurting Bilal Muhammad pretty badly in that fight before the eye poke stoppage. So I'm expecting maybe not the same thing here. I guess it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do here. But Bobby Green versus Paddy Pimblett is a pretty good fight. And after Bobby Green's last fight against Jim Miller, it's going to be very interesting to see how Paddy Pimblett will look to win this fight, because we know he's a good grappler. He can wrestle a little bit, but will he be able to take down Bobby Green? Bobby Green has a really good wrestling base, is good at defending takedowns. I don't think Paddy Pimblett's going to be able to take down Bobby Green, and you see Bobby Green be able to cover range pretty well. And I think Jim Miller, with a guy that has a lot of power, I don't think Paddy Pimblett has close to the amount of power that Jim Miller has. So it'll be very interesting to see what his approach is to this fight. Bobby Green is a little older. He's taken a lot of damage, took some damage in his last fight as well, got hurt very early on, but he still was able to get the win there. I don't know what Paddy Pimblett's gonna have to do here. You might have to like clinch and make this fight really boring up against the fence and kind of just get points that way. That's how I can see this fight going. But I don't know. Very interesting fight. I think Bobby Green has a pretty good chance in this fight, but he's a little bit older, so definitely an interesting way to look at this card. Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blaydes. I'm going to go with Tom Aspinall, just a little early prediction. I kind of got a lot of respect for Aspinall and Blaydes at this point, because Cyril Gane just is doing everything in his power to think that he actually has the right to hold out and get these choices in these matchups. Like, he isn't even a star. Like, you don't get, you're not first priority over anybody in that heavyweight division. I don't know who the hell his management is, or who's been feeding him this kind of information, or who's telling him that he's selling all these fights. Like, him versus Francis was like 200K buys. Like, this guy, maybe he thought he had a good, what would you even call it, like compliment to Jones on that 1 million buy card, I think is what they said at the time. No, not at all. He doesn't sell pay-per-views. Maybe in France he does. He can sell out an arena, but that's in France. So this fight's going to be very interesting. Tom Aspinall got injured in their first fight. I'm really looking forward to it. I think Aspinall wins this one. His footwork, something I didn't really even look at before. Against Sergey, it looked really good. He baited Sergey in, was able to counter him pretty well and drop him pretty early on. He did get caught a little bit, but Curtis Blaydes is pretty good. I kind of made a rougher thumbnail for his fight against Gelatin. I think that fight got moved like a couple times, so I made it like an early prediction like a few months way before, and then Derek Lewis came in on short notice, and then they rescheduled the fight, and Curtis Blaydes kind of just beat him up pretty early. Like, he got taken down and then just elbowed him out. And then I guess Curtis, I don't know if it's actually Curtis Blaydes, but I got a comment on my thing, but he's like, oh, this didn't age too well, but Curtis Blaydes is pretty good. I got a lot of respect for him. I just think Tom Aspinall is going to be a lot better here, a lot quicker. Curtis Blaydes wanted to take him down I don't think that's going to work. Aspinall's a really good grappler. And I do think Curtis Blaydes is pretty good on the feet. We didn't get to see too much how that fight would have ended because it was really high pace. Hopefully we get there in this fight and maybe wake up the crowd a little bit. But again, I don't even know if I got into it, but I was a little worried that Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad before this fight would actually like put the fans to sleep. I know people make that joke about Bilal Muhammad, how he's like super boring and he makes people fall asleep, but that could literally like legitimately be the case if they weren't the last fight on, and we might get people leaving the arena early. I don't know. Hopefully Leon Edwards is tries to make this quick and easy, and it'd be kind of interesting to see how the UK fighters react to the time this fight's on, because this does not help them at all. 4 a.m. their time, probably main event is probably going to be way earlier, so it's going to be a really rough card for a lot of these UK fighters. It'll be definitely pretty interesting to see how they do. Muhammad Mokaev, Manel Kap's a pretty good fight as well. I don't know if I got into that one, but that's a really tough matchup. I think I actually might go with Manel Kap there. Muhammad Mokaev struggled a little bit against Alex Perez, and Alex Perez actually looks really good right now, but Manel Kap is just so strong, really good takedown defense, and really powerful. So be very interesting. Mokaev's stand-up really hasn't developed too much the last time we saw him, so be very interesting to see how that fight goes. I'll probably end up going with Kap there. Bobby Green versus Pimblett is kind of up in the air, but I'm going with Aspinall. I'll probably go with Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards is very good on the ground, very big as well. Bilal Muhammad's pretty strong, but I just see more finishing ability from Leon Edwards and more damage that can be done than Bilal Muhammad can. But who knows? Maybe all the UK fighters are just super drained, especially after the weight cut and at a super late start time. Who knows how tired these guys will be and what their performances will be like. So very interesting card here. I'm really happy about this card as well. I wish they would change the time. I mean, I'm fine with it being at like 8 a.m. prelim start time. Like, I really don't care. But if it makes the fights a little bit better, is what it is, I guess. But let me know what you guys think about this card down below in the comments. Who do you guys have winning? And I'll see you guys next time.